Welcome to this session on interpreting and unpacking the international schools assessments at DIA. The goal for today's presentation is to help you understand how to interpret your child's results, to help you understand the content that is being assessed within the ISAs, and to explain how DIA uses this data to plan for the future. We also hope to answer questions that you may have about the ISAs in general. At the end of this presentation, you will see some frequently asked questions that were presented by parents during past presentations. So a little bit on the ISAs. Much of us know why the ISAs were done and what they are, but they're the International Schools Assessments. These are done once a year at DIA and they're usually done in February. These are not used to inform report card results at all, but they're to help us understand where we sit as an international school as compared to other schools. We do the ISAs mainly to gather data, get an overview of student learning in specific areas, such as mathematical literacy, reading, writing, and this year we've trialed scientific literacy in the primary years. So we also use this to compare to other schools, international schools around the world, and we use this to enhance teaching and learning practices at DIA. So how is this feedback interpreted? When you get your report, you will see a sheet that looks very similar to this. It does detail how to read the results, but we're going to review this here just to help in understanding what that means. The dark circle that we see right above this 300 here shows that where that particular child is sitting on these results. So that's their location on a scale based on their performance for this test. The inner shaded green band shows the range of results for the middle 50% of students at that grade level, whereas the outer band shows the range of results from 90%, but still at that grade level. The scale is marked at intervals of 100, so you may see that a third grade student will be in around the 300 area. A fourth grade student might be 400 and a fifth grade at 500. The categories that you will also see also reflect what is in our continuum. And these math categories are uncertainty data, quantity, space and shape, and change in relationships. In reading the data from these categories, this is what your child's score would look like. The blue dot assesses all of these areas. It's either in the middle, in the green, or in the white areas, and it helps us to guide how we can assist that student or support them further. So the blue dot again is in the middle where they should be, in the outer green band, or it could also be in the white areas on the outside. The reading categories that are also assessed are access and retrieve, which is to locate one or more pieces of information within a text, integrate and interpret, which is constructing meaning and drawing inferences from one or more parts of these texts, as well as reflect and evaluate, which is then taking that student's experience, knowledge, and ideas and putting them down on paper. So this would look very similar to the math. As you take a look at the same range, you'll see something very similar, and the blue dot would indicate where your child is ranging within that area. Within the writing section, the exposition and argument, a piece of writing is presented, and the students take a perspective and they try and explain that. And then they try and use a persuasive argument to explain how they feel about a particular topic. So this section on your report will look like this. The argumentative areas are in several different levels, and again, you will see your child being compared on the level that is appropriate for their grade level. The other sections that we have are narrative reflective writing, which is writing a story or reflective piece, either imaginary or based on experience, and of course interpreting that also looks the same, and you will also see them text here that will explain what is being categorized in that area. In the scientific literacy category, so again, this is new for primary, and secondary has had a bit more of experience on this, but the three sections: explain phenomena scientifically, evaluate and design scientific inquiry, interpret data and evidence scientifically. This again will look very similar to the math and language areas, with the green bands and the blue dot that falls within in the appropriate level numbering. So where do we sit as a school when we compare to other international schools? So you can see that the data from our previous years, I am looking on the far left here where we have blue and red. You can see that our results for DIA has progressively improved as we've moved through the years. So last year was this blue line that you see here, and this year we have the red bars, and you can see some development in certain areas. Secondary was very similar. I see that they've tracked 3 years here, so 2017 as compared to the yellow bars in 2019 and 20. So you can see some significant growth with our results as we sit as a school. In comparing us to other schools, we can also track some changes here as well, and this is throughout the grades. We can see 3rd grade all the way up to 8th grade, and you can see some steady improvement with scores when we compare to other schools in these areas of math, reading, narrative writing, exposition, and scientific literacy. So what do we do with this information now? Using this feedback, we analyze all of the data that we see, and we also make a plan internally for our students and our teaching team. And some of those plans include support groups for students who require a bit more assistance, reflecting on our curricular content, and this is something that we do ongoing. This is not something that has begun just with ISAs. Every term, our teaching team does get together collaboratively across the school between primary and secondary, and we work on curricular content to align them well. We also order resources to help develop and support student learning according to the needs of these groups. We also continue to support students with internal assessments, language and math strategies, and we will continue with mock assessments as we go along to help build up learning how to take tests, sitting for tests, and how to manage these situations. So a few of the questions that are here when I post this, you can have a look at some of these. And then if your question is not in this list, please feel free to reach out and let us know. Thank you very much for watching.